Hey all, this is Entom and welcome to Trilby's Notes. The third of the Trilby games, but second chronologically. And I gotta say, this is probably the spookiest of all the Trilby games, and of course I have Helldragon back for this. We banished that Matt person from Spectre of Torment. I don't know how he got into the recording booth, honestly, but we have good old THD back again, so he can enjoy the spoop.
You know, because it's always good because, you know, we're recording this early in the morning, and personally, it's never too early for me to shit my drawers with fear, because it's always a great way to start the day. Get my cup of coffee and, you know, piss myself in frustration. It's great.
Good stuff, good stuff. You remember the events of 5 Days a Stranger, right? With Dafoe Manor and the like?
Oh, yeah, I'm just trying to recall it all. I think I may have removed it from my memory. It was so fucking weird, but, you know, shit was going down in that manor. Oh, some spooky motherfucker was in it, killing people. Trilby got out, eventually, after pulling a Funyun on the guy. So, yeah, and you said this is like the sequel to that, right, chronologically?
Pretty much, yeah. The events of the game only take place over one day this time, but Trilby is essentially dealing with, like, the psychological fallout of what happened in Dafoe Manor. So, yeah, he's become a little bit paranoid, as you can probably tell by the text here.
You know, I'm just gonna come off it right now. Based on this game, and you know, Trilby the Utter Theft, I gotta say something about Trilby. He is a fucking terrible thief. Because if you've, I don't know if you've watched the Trilby the Art of Theft, but like the first mission comes up, you do it, go with that kind of thing. He's escaping down the alleyway, the motherfucker gets tripped, his hat falls off, I don't even think he has a mask on. His hat falls off, some dude is there with a photo, like a camera to take his photograph, and then he gets blackmailed, and like, this is the second fucking time, dude! Just quit! You're done!
yeah, and you know, in 5 Days a Stranger, he goes to rob the mansion, gets trapped inside, and then a ghost starts killing people, so luck is not exactly on this thief's side. So we're going to help the STP, the acronym was spelled out back there, already forgotten about it, but it's actually a very different kind of adventure game this time, as we'll see once we get control. We don't actually do point and click, we move about and use a text parser to interact with the world.
I'm guessing it's like a callback to the older, like, Sierra adventure games where, you know, mouse control in those games weren't really a thing. And, you know, you had to move around with the arrow keys and you had to type stuff really fast, which is always good when a death trap is hurtling your way and you're banging for the keyboard trying to get out the right command before it kills you.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that. It's a very forgiving game, is Trilby's Notes, because, you know, time freezes once you activate the parser. So, yeah, let's go have a chat about old friend Simone. Hopefully she hasn't been eviscerated by the spirit of John Dafoe or anything.
Yeah, that would be certainly nice. Oh, this is already a good start. Good, Simone isn't answering the door. There's blood on the carpet. That again?
Oh, well, that carpet is just normally coloured red, but yeah, we're a master thief, quote unquote, so let's pull out our lockpicks. There you go, got an inventory screen and everything, and proceed to pick the lock. Don't worry, no lockpicking minigame. Also, shout-outs to Flaming Claw for actually recording this footage for us. For whatever reason, OBS was just not playing ball with me this time. I'll try and get back on the ball for when 6 Days of Sacrifice pops up. It's a bit dark in here, let's open up the blinds. You don't have to feel the window, but, you know, just getting immersed into the world and whatnot.
I wonder what's going to happen when he draws up the blind. And then when light comes into the room, certainly hoping nothing bad. Oh no, something bad has happened! What a surprise!
Oh, Simone, I really hope that's Ribena on the carpet.
Just had a wild bender, just spilling some wine everywhere. It's okay, Trilby, let me just give me a few days, I'll be fine. 5 days, a stranger, if you will.
Yes, don't forget about 7 Days a Skeptic. That takes place well in the future, but as you'll see in the game after Trilby's Notes, yeah, Yahtzee didn't give a shit about time and whatnot. It's all going hither and thither. Question though, how did Simone get murdered if the door was locked and the window didn't seem to have been, like, forced open or anything?
Oh, of course, gas leaking to the room, don't you know?
Well, it must have been some kind of special internal hemorrhaging gas to make her vomit up blood on the carpet.
I don't know, if you're in a locked room with no circulation, you're pouring like carbon monoxide in the room. We used to have like a space heater when I was growing up, And my dad actually got ill because he would always sleep next to it, and this was before they knew, hey, you probably shouldn't flood the room with fucking carbon monoxide. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that shit can happen if you're closed off. That shit can actually kill you. So that's a legitimate way to do it.
Okay, so we're heading to Clanborough Island.
Now, I do like the how this game is set up with a framing device in that it is literally Trilby's notes. He's writing stuff in the past tense. And when it sets up the cursor, it'll say, you know, I did this next, or I had this on me at the time. It's a neat little touch, I think.
Oh, I didn't realise we were going to meet Arthur Weasley in this game.
Oh, there we go.
Well, dealing with a bit of occultism here. Legman, he doesn't really turn up all that much, but, you know, we just have to play nice with him. He's from the agency, after all, or the ministry. I'm getting all my names mixed up here. I've had a hearty day of editing Resident Evil parts.
Man, you know, I think Harry Dresden would have taken care of this shit like that, you know? I don't know if you've ever heard of the Dresden Files, it's more of an American guy. I haven't read the books personally, but I played the role-playing game, and that was top fucking notch, so there you go.
I have heard of the Dresden Files, never partaken of them. Would you recommend?
I don't know, like I said, I haven't read because I am sheltered that way. You know me, Tom. You've gotta really get me to do shit with, like, the TV and the books these days, you know? I'm just that kind of guy these days.
Okay. Clan Bronwyn Hotel. I completely spaced out back there. I can't tell if this is Scottish or Irish, but it's not English, so we won't be sipping tea every other second, no.
It sounds like three guys were fighting over the name of the hotel, so they just kind of crammed all their last names together. I mean, doesn't it look that way?
Yeah, the clans of Clan Bron and Wyn.
Yeah, maybe it's like three lawyers. They're trying to compromise. They had to get a hotel instead. They couldn't get like an actual law firm, so there you go.
Well, it's very inviting so far. The whole game pretty much takes place inside this hotel. So, manor, hotel, same thing really, stuck in a structure.
I actually kind of want to see, like, them do a game like this, you know, like the typical, it's like a callback to 90s adventure games, but maybe give it a more Resident Evil kind of bend. Maybe, I'm not sure how they would do gunplay that way, but you know, like how, like in the first Resident Evil and for a lot of the games afterwards, everything was like pre-rendered backgrounds, right? I kind of want them to do it in this perspective, but I'm not sure how gunplay would work, but I think that would be a really cool kind of game to see, actually.
Well, graphically, the closest you've got so far is Resident Evil Gaiden for the Game Boy, but I digress. Do you happen to recognize this character, mate? You may have seen someone relate to him before.
He was in, like, one of the past games we did, right?
Well, past, future, same thing. He was, he is related to the captain of the ship in 7 Days a Skeptic.
Oh, really? Okay, so it kind of, you know, ties it all back together in that sort of way.
Mm-hmm. Get a bit of backstory here on Professor Chahal. He could probably help us to figure out what's going on with the recent murders and whatnot. And, you know, the idol is still bopping about at this point. In the future, spoilers, we sent it into the thrusters of the ship and basically burned it up. But that's not going to stop John Dafoe from John Dafoeing.
That's true. Meanwhile, the I don't know what they called the fucking person at the counter at a hotel. The person. She's just standing there with her arms folded, and I'm like, alright, I'm so ready to rent a room now, guys, so let's get on with it.
Yeah, I don't get paid nearly enough for this. And, yeah, we are using an alias, because, I don't know, he's still a thief. A disgraced thief is still a thief. He still has honor, after all.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you. I can finally do my job.
Mr. Railby? Oh, that's different from Trilby. Oh, it's totally indistinguishable.
What kind of word was that? I think you had a seizure.
I don't know. I think I said like one word and it sort of segued into another. It's been a while, guys. I apologize. We had to get that Matt motherfucker to do it in the last one. He didn't know what he was doing, so I got to pick up the slack. I do apologize for that, by the way.
Yeah, so we've got Abed Chahal, and I think we had Barry Chahal in 7 Days a Skeptic. This is his assistant. It's pronounced Siobhan, I believe. I think that's Irish, although the red hair does kind of give it away.
Siobhan is a very nice type of car. I've driven some of those before. They're a little expensive, but they're worth it.
What a fucking dad joke, honestly. So yeah, there's a lot of exposition in this first part, because, we've got to set the tone and get the spooky happenings going, and when spooky happenings start, you'll never see it coming.
I don't know. I mean, I've already done 2 games of this regard, doing the commentaries for these, so spooky shit is inevitable. I'm kind of bucked up at this point. I'm like, alright, come on, let's see it.
I will say, Trilby's Notes is actually my favourite Trilby game. I think the weakest one, I'm kind of jumping on a bandwagon here, because I've only watched the Deceased Crab playthrough of 6 Days a Sacrifice. It's probably that one, honestly.
I wonder if it does take place in this timeline, where the art of theft takes place. I think it's before all this shit started happening, if I recall my very vague timeline of the Trilby games correctly.
I'm not entirely sure art of theft is even, in the Trilby game mythos, so to speak.
What was it called? I think there was an official mythos name, the Chozo mythos. I'm just thinking Chozo, because I've been playing Samus Returns, and I know that's not the correct word, but it's kind of close to that.
Yeah, it is, but you don't learn that out unless you've listened to the director's commentary in 6 Days of Sacrifice.
Oh, okay.
Yep, gotta bring up that old shit. Reopen the wound. Oh, Abed, why don't you just pour salt in my PTSD, old chap?
Although, I mean, I know I've said Trilby was kind of a shit thief, and he is, but I mean, it perfectly made sense that even a guy like him would be seeing and feeling some shit after going, the stuff that happened in 5 days. I mean, most people probably wouldn't be able to withstand that, what I mean?
Yeah, and the kid from 5 Days, I think his name was Jim, we found out he's going into hiding right now. Hopefully whatever killed Simone didn't kill him as well, and it's really actually kind of sad that Simone didn't have anyone to work out the psychological issues with. She just had to go back to her job, and it's, steadily got worse and worse until she was let go, and then she wound up dead alone in her apartment. Trilby at least had, the ministry, or the STP and whatnot to look after him.
What'd I do next? I went here. There we go.
Yeah, you're describing a ghost, Trilby. You're gonna have to be a bit more specific than pop culture horror references, I think.
Yeah, I mean, does this mean anything to you? Yes, Leatherface. I enjoyed those movies greatly.
Don't get me started on Jason X. That took place in a spaceship as well.
I know, what the fuck is up with putting these things in space? It doesn't quite work out all the time.
So yeah, idle. Make sure you don't get too comfortable here, Helldragon, because I can sense spooky happenings approaching.
Yeah, it's always that way. I'm just kind of waiting for it to jump up at any moment. Boo, I'm a skeleton. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Oh, no kind of skeleton out of the bathtub, 5 Days of Stranger moments, but maybe a bit more on the psychological side of things.
Do we have any skeleton warriors? That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, the really, really fake sounding name, Terence Trilby, was bad enough, but try not to ask too many specific questions, or you'll just tip off that you're working for a certain ministry, and they'll probably ask you to leave. Huh. Oh, okay. I saw one of those in the lobby of this here hotel, and Trilby looks like he has seen some shit.
What do you think about gladiators? I hope that won't tip me off.
Yeah. I guess our next port of call is to go investigate that painting, then.
Yep, it is painted. Good. Oh no, they used baby food for this one. Good thing I investigated.
Oh, it's coming back. The memories of the manor.
You really should take up meditation, and probably morphine, and maybe some heroin at this point.
Yeah, oh my god!
Hello, alright, it's a Dark Souls boss, what's going on here?
Oh, Jesus, yeah, let's try not to mention the manor again, although I don't recall that tallish ghoul being part of it. It was much more rustic, was John Dafoe's attire.
Yeah, that's true. At least, he was a more down-to-earth kind of supernatural force, something you could really relate to, as he was knifing your face off.
Yeah, I'm gonna go splash some water on my feet, or however it works.
Oh, looks like we're shifting to the alternate dimension, and we gotta pull Soul Reaver up in here.
Here we go.
Wait for it. Wait. Tonight on Hotel Hell, Gordon Ramsay investigates a hotel that appears to be completely haunted. It's fucking raw!
It's fucking haunted! Yes, we have light and dark world mechanics in this game, and let's just say the epic, horrific voyages of Trilby have just begun. So join us next time in Trilby's Nose, where we start to investigate Clan Bronwyn Hotel and get to the bottom of the idol mystery. See you then.